In a time when gods and heroes walked the earth and the heavens were close enough to touch, a magnificent creature was born from both the divine and the magical. High upon the battlefield, where the hero Perseus struck down the fearsome Gorgon Medusa, something wondrous occurred. As the blood of Medusa spilled upon the earth, the ground trembled, and from it sprang a creature unlike any the world had ever seen. A brilliant white horse with wings so vast they seemed to sweep the sky itself. This was Pegasus, the winged horse, whose grace and power captured the gaze of gods and mortals alike. From the moment of his birth, Pegasus lifted off from the earth and soared into the sky, his wings carrying him effortlessly into the heavens. His feathers shimmered in the sunlight, and wherever his hooves touched the earth or the clouds, a sense of magic followed. Pegasus was not a creature of this world alone. He belonged to the skies, where freedom reigned and the stars seemed close enough to reach. Born from the magic of the gods, he represented purity, power, and the boundless spirit of adventure. Pegasus's story, however, would not only be one of flight. His journey would take him across lands both mystical and divine, forging bonds with heroes and gods, and ultimately finding his place among the stars. As you listen to this tale, imagine Pegasus gliding through the sky, his wings cutting through the air with soft, steady beats, each one carrying him higher. His flight is calm and purposeful, a peaceful journey above the clouds where the troubles of the world seem small and distant. This is the beginning of the winged horse's journey, a journey that will take him to the farthest reaches of the heavens and beyond. Chapter 1. Pegasus and the Spring of Inspiration. After his magnificent birth, Pegasus soared freely through the skies, a creature of pure grace and wonder. The clouds were his companions, the wind his guide, and the vast open sky his home. From high above, Pegasus could see the world below, and it was in these early days that his journey took him to the sacred mountain of Helicon, where the Muses, the goddesses of art and inspiration, resided. The Muses were known throughout the world for their gifts, bestowing creativity and wisdom upon mortals. Their songs inspired poets, artists, and musicians, filling the air with beauty and harmony. It was said that Mount Helicon itself was a place of serene calm, where the wind whispered gently through the trees, and the sunlight danced upon the streams that flowed down its slopes. Drawn to the peace and tranquility of this divine place, Pegasus descended from the heavens, his hooves touching the soft earth for the first time. The Muses, seeing the majestic winged horse, welcomed him with open hearts. They sensed in Pegasus a spirit that aligned with their own, a creature born of magic, with a soul that soared as freely as their art. Pegasus wandered the slopes of the mountain, his presence bringing a sense of wonder and inspiration wherever he roamed. It was during his time on Mount Helicon that something extraordinary happened. As Pegasus galloped across the mountain, his powerful hooves struck the earth, and from that very spot, a spring of crystal-clear water burst forth. This was no ordinary spring. It was the Hippocrene, the horse's fountain, a magical source of inspiration that would forever flow, offering poets and artists the gift of creativity. The water of the Hippocrene was said to bring clarity and vision to those who drank from it, helping them to craft beautiful works of art, poetry, and music. The Muses rejoiced at the creation of this sacred spring, knowing that Pegasus had gifted the world something truly special. From that day forward, Mount Helicon became a place of pilgrimage for those seeking inspiration, and the water of the Hippocrene flowed with the same magic that had created Pegasus himself. The gentle sound of the spring, bubbling and flowing down the mountain, became a symbol of peace and creativity, its waters nourishing the minds of those who sought the Muse's favor. Pegasus, ever humble, continued to roam the mountain, unaware of the impact he had made. His presence among the Muses brought a sense of calm and beauty to the land, and his graceful flights across the sky became a source of inspiration for all who looked upon him. The connection between Pegasus and the Muses was one of harmony, a shared love of freedom, creativity, and the magic of the natural world. As Pegasus leaped into the air once more, his wings carrying him higher into the sky, the sunlight reflected off the rippling waters of the Hippocrene below. His flight was as effortless as a soft breeze, and as he disappeared into the horizon, the Muses whispered their thanks, knowing that the spring he had created would inspire generations to come. The story of Pegasus and the Muses is one of peaceful creation and lasting beauty, a reminder that even the simplest touch of magic can bring forth wonders that echo through time. And so, Pegasus continued his journey, his heart as light as the winds that carried him, always searching for new adventures among the stars and beyond. Chapter 2. Bellerophon and the Taming of Pegasus. While Pegasus roamed freely across the heavens, admired by gods and mortals alike, there was one hero whose fate was forever intertwined with that of the winged horse. His name was Bellerophon, a young prince with great ambition and dreams of achieving legendary status among the heroes of his time. Though brave and skilled, Bellerophon knew that to accomplish the great deeds that would secure his place in history, he would need the help of the most magnificent creature in all of the world, Pegasus. Bellerophon had heard tales of the winged horse, of how Pegasus flew across the skies faster than the wind, how he had created the sacred spring of inspiration with just a strike of his hoof. The hero longed to ride Pegasus, to soar through the air on his back and accomplish feats no mortal had ever dreamed of. But Pegasus, wild and free, could not be tamed by ordinary means. Many had tried, but none had succeeded in gaining the trust of the celestial horse. One night, as Bellerophon pondered how he might succeed where others had failed, the goddess Athena appeared to him in a dream. The wise goddess knew of Bellerophon's desire to ride Pegasus and recognized the hero's potential. In his dream, Athena presented Bellerophon with a golden bridle, a gift from the gods, and spoke softly to him, her voice like the breeze on a calm night. "With this bridle," Athena said, "you shall be able to tame the winged horse, for it is a gift from Olympus, forged with the wisdom of the gods. But remember, Bellerophon, Pegasus is a creature of the heavens. He is not to be bound by the ambitions of mortals. You must approach him with humility, for only then will he allow you to ride upon his back." When Bellerophon awoke, he found the golden bridle resting beside him, shimmering in the early morning light. With renewed hope, he set off to find Pegasus, following the stories of the winged horse's flights to the sacred slopes of Mount Helicon, where Pegasus often wandered. Days passed as Bellerophon searched the mountain, watching the skies for the sight of Pegasus's brilliant wings. At last, one morning, as the sun began to rise over the horizon, Bellerophon saw him. Pegasus, majestic and free, gliding effortlessly through the clouds. His wings caught the first light of dawn, and for a moment it seemed as though he was a creature born of the very sun itself. Bellerophon approached quietly, holding the golden bridle in his hands, his heart filled with awe at the sight of the great horse. He remembered Athena's words, and instead of rushing forward with force, he knelt on the ground, offering the bridle to Pegasus with respect. Slowly, Pegasus descended, his wings folding gracefully by his sides as he landed before the hero. There was a moment of stillness, where nothing but the soft rustling of the wind could be heard, as Pegasus gazed upon Bellerophon. To Bellerophon's surprise, Pegasus did not flee. The winged horse, sensing the purity of Bellerophon's heart and the humility in his actions, allowed the golden bridle to be placed upon him. As Bellerophon gently took hold of the reins, he felt a deep connection with Pegasus, as though they understood each other without the need for words. With a single leap, Bellerophon mounted Pegasus, and, for the first time, the two took to the skies together. The air rushed past them as Pegasus soared higher and higher, his wings beating steadily as they flew across the heavens. Bellerophon had never experienced such freedom. Above the clouds, with the earth far below, everything seemed peaceful and calm. The sky was their domain, and in that moment they were no longer bound by the worries of the world. As they flew, Bellerophon marveled at Pegasus's grace and power. The winged horse moved effortlessly through the air, as if he were a part of the wind itself. The bond between the hero and the celestial horse grew with each passing moment, and Bellerophon knew that together they could accomplish anything. Their partnership was destined for greatness, and soon Bellerophon would face trials that would test both his courage and Pegasus's strength. But for now, as they glided through the endless blue sky, all was peaceful. The world below seemed small and distant, and the only sound was the gentle rhythm of Pegasus's wings as they carried them both on their journey. And so, the legend of Bellerophon and Pegasus was born, a partnership between a mortal hero and a creature of the stars, bound by trust, respect, and the shared joy of flight. Chapter 3. The Adventures of Pegasus and Bellerophon. The bond between Pegasus and Bellerophon was now sealed, and together they embarked on a journey that would test their strength, courage, and trust in one another. Word of their partnership spread quickly throughout the lands, and soon Bellerophon was called upon to face a challenge that no hero had yet been able to conquer: the defeat of the Chimera. The Chimera was a monstrous creature that terrorized the kingdom of Lycia, where it scorched the land with its fiery breath. It had the body of a lion, the head of a goat rising from its back, and a serpent for a tail, each of its parts more fearsome than the last. It laid waste to villages and fields, leaving nothing but charred earth in its wake. No mortal could stand against such a beast, and many had tried and failed. Bellerophon knew that this challenge would be unlike any he had faced before. But with Pegasus by his side, he felt a sense of confidence and calm. Together they were unstoppable. With Pegasus's wings carrying him through the skies and his own spear in hand, Bellerophon set out to defeat the Chimera. The journey to Lycia took them over vast lands and seas. As they flew, Bellerophon marveled at the world below: mountains that rose like giants from the earth, forests that stretched endlessly into the distance, and rivers that shimmered like silver under the sun. High above the land, the troubles of the world seemed far away, and the wind whispered gently in his ears, a reminder of the peace and freedom they shared. When they arrived at Lycia, the people looked to Bellerophon with hope, for they had suffered long under the Chimera's wrath. But it was not fear that filled the hero's heart as he gazed upon the destruction. It was determination. He knew that with Pegasus he could defeat the beast. Together they could bring peace back to the land. Soon the chimera appeared, roaring and spitting flames that lit up the sky. Its terrifying form towered over the land, its three heads moving in different directions, searching for new prey. But Pegasus, with wings outstretched, rose swiftly into the air, carrying Bellerophon above the creature's reach. The chimera, unable to fly, could only watch in fury as the winged horse and rider circled above it, planning their attack. With careful precision, Bellerophon hurled his spear toward the chimera, aiming for its vulnerable spots. Pegasus swooped and dived with grace, evading the flames that the beast breathed into the air. It was a dance of battle, fire against air, rage against calm. But Pegasus, with his unmatched speed and agility, always remained just out of the chimera's reach, guiding Bellerophon through the skies like a breeze in a storm. As the battle wore on, Bellerophon struck a decisive blow, piercing the chimera's heart and bringing the beast to its knees. The earth trembled as the chimera fell, its flames finally extinguished. The people of Lycia rejoiced, their kingdom saved from the terror that had plagued them for so long. Though the victory was great, Bellerophon felt a deep sense of humility as he looked down upon the fallen creature. He understood that his success had not come from his strength alone, but from the partnership he shared with Pegasus, a partnership built on trust, respect, and harmony. The two had moved as one, their bond allowing them to overcome even the greatest of challenges. Word of their triumph spread far and wide, and soon Bellerophon and Pegasus were known throughout the ancient world as the greatest hero and the most majestic of creatures. Together, they faced many more adventures, defeating monsters, solving riddles, and bringing peace to lands torn apart by chaos. Yet, no matter how many battles they fought or how many victories they won, Pegasus always remained free, his heart forever bound to the skies. Bellerophon often marveled at the quiet power of the winged horse. While other heroes relied on brute strength or cunning, Pegasus brought a sense of calm and control to every challenge. His presence was like the wind itself, soft yet unstoppable, guiding them toward victory without ever losing his grace. In their travels, Pegasus's wings carried them over seas and mountains, across deserts and forests, and through cities where the people gazed up in awe at the sight of the flying horse. Each adventure deepened the bond between the two, but Bellerophon never forgot the wisdom Athena had imparted to him. Pegasus was not to be bound by the ambitions of mortals. He belonged to the heavens, and Bellerophon knew that their time together, while legendary, was only one chapter in the endless journey of the winged horse. And so, after each adventure, Pegasus would rise into the sky, his wings carrying him higher and higher, until he was but a glimmer in the distance, a reminder that while heroes come and go, the freedom of the heavens remains eternal. Chapter 4. The Fall of Bellerophon. After many victories, including the defeat of the fearsome chimera, Bellerophon's name was known throughout the land. His adventures with Pegasus had secured him a place among the greatest of heroes. Kings and gods alike praised him, and the people of Greece looked upon him with admiration and awe. But, as the legend of Bellerophon grew, so too did his pride. With each triumph, Bellerophon began to see himself not just as a hero, but as someone destined for greater things, perhaps even for immortality among the gods themselves. He had ridden the mighty Pegasus through the skies, defeated creatures that no other mortal could face, and won the favor of kings and rulers. In his heart, he began to believe that he was not just a man, but something more, something worthy of a place on Mount Olympus, the home of the gods. But as many myths warn, pride, hubris, is a dangerous thing. In his growing arrogance, Bellerophon set his sights on a goal that no mortal should ever seek: to ascend to Mount Olympus, not as a guest, but as an equal to the gods. One fateful day, Bellerophon mounted Pegasus once again, this time with a new and dangerous ambition in his heart. He would ride to Mount Olympus, higher than any mortal had ever dared to go, and claim his place among the gods. With Pegasus's powerful wings, they soared into the sky, higher and higher, as the earth below grew smaller and smaller. The wind rushed past them, and the clouds parted as they ascended into the realm of the divine. But as they approached the gates of Olympus, the gods watched with displeasure. Zeus, the king of the gods, saw Bellerophon's arrogance and knew that no mortal should ever attempt such a feat. The heavens were not a place for men, no matter how many battles they had won, and Bellerophon's pride had led him to forget the wisdom of the gods. Zeus, in his anger, decided to remind Bellerophon of his mortal nature. As Pegasus flew ever closer to Olympus, Zeus sent a gadfly, a small but sharp insect, to sting Pegasus. Startled by the sudden pain, Pegasus reared back, and in an instant, Bellerophon lost his grip. The golden bridle, a gift from the gods themselves, slipped from his hands, and Bellerophon was thrown from Pegasus's back. In that moment, as Bellerophon fell through the sky, he realized the folly of his pride. The skies that had once welcomed him now seemed distant and unforgiving, and the earth, which had once seemed so small beneath him, now rushed up to meet him. His heart filled with regret, Bellerophon plummeted to the ground, falling farther and farther from the heavens he had sought to claim. When he landed, broken and humbled, Bellerophon understood that his ambition had led him to a place where no mortal should ever go. Though he survived the fall, he was never the same again. His pride had cost him his glory, and he spent the rest of his days wandering the earth, far from the hero he had once been. His fall from the skies served as a cautionary tale for generations to come, a reminder that no matter how great a hero may be, mortals must never forget their place. But what of Pegasus? After Bellerophon's fall, Pegasus was free once more. The winged horse, unburdened by the ambitions of mortals, rose into the sky, higher and higher, until he disappeared from the view of men. Pegasus had always belonged to the heavens, and now, with his wings spread wide, he returned to the world of the gods, where he could fly without restraint. Pegasus had carried many heroes in his time, and though he had fought in great battles and faced fearsome beasts, his heart was always with the sky. As Bellerophon fell, Pegasus soared, his flight as effortless and graceful as ever. The clouds welcomed him back, and the winds once again became his constant companions. The tale of Bellerophon and Pegasus is a story of courage and triumph, but also one of humility. Pegasus, though he had served alongside heroes, was never meant to be bound by mortal desires. His place was always among the stars, and as he flew ever upward, he found his way back to the celestial realm where he truly belonged. Chapter 5. Pegasus ascends to the stars. With Bellerophon's fall behind him, Pegasus was once again free to roam the vast expanse of the sky, free to follow the winds wherever they led, and free from the ambitions of mortals. The heavens had always been Pegasus's true home, where the stars shimmered like diamonds in the night, and the clouds danced beneath his wings. As Pegasus soared higher, his powerful wings cutting through the air with ease, he felt the gentle pull of the stars calling him. He was no longer bound by the tasks of men, no longer tethered to the earth. Instead, he could fly freely, rising higher and higher into the boundless space above. The winds, cool and serene, whispered through his feathers, guiding him toward his true destiny. The gods had long admired Pegasus for his grace, loyalty, and strength. Unlike the mortals who sought to control him, Pegasus had always remained true to himself, a creature born of magic, belonging to the skies. Zeus, the king of the gods, watched Pegasus as he flew higher than ever before, and in his wisdom, Zeus knew that Pegasus's journey was not meant to end in the mortal world. The winged horse had earned his place among the stars. To honor Pegasus and his countless feats, Zeus decided to immortalize him in the night sky, where he would forever soar, untouched by time, a symbol of freedom and majesty for all to see. And so, as Pegasus flew across the heavens, Zeus reached out with his divine hand and placed him among the constellations, transforming him into a celestial figure that would shine brightly for eternity. Now, whenever night falls and the sky is clear, you can look up and see Pegasus, the winged horse, gliding gracefully through the stars. His constellation rests high above, a permanent reminder of his incredible journey and the many adventures he had faced. His wings, spread wide, are visible to all who gaze upon the night sky, a symbol of the beauty and magic that exists beyond the world of mortals. Pegasus's constellation tells a story not only of strength and courage, but of freedom. His place among the stars is not just a reward for the battles he fought, but a tribute to the boundless spirit that lives in all of us. He reminds us that, no matter how grounded we may feel at times, there is always the possibility to rise above, to reach for the stars, and to find peace and joy in the journey. As Pegasus shines down from the heavens, his presence brings a sense of calm to those who look upon him. His flight, now eternal, carries with it the gentle hum of the wind, the soft glow of the stars, and the quiet promise that freedom and adventure await those who seek them. And so, Pegasus continues to fly through the night, his wings carrying him beyond the clouds, beyond the earth, and into the heart of the cosmos. His legend lives on, not just in the stories told by men, but in the very sky itself, where his constellation will forever light the way for dreamers and explorers alike. As the tale of Pegasus draws to a close, we are reminded that his journey is far from over. While the adventures of mortals may fade with time, Pegasus's story lives on, eternally written in the stars. His presence, high above in the night sky, serves as a quiet and enduring reminder of freedom, courage, and the wonder of the unknown. For centuries, sailors, poets, and stargazers have looked to the constellation Pegasus as a guide and a symbol of inspiration. His wings, spread wide across the heavens, continue to soar, carrying the same grace and beauty that once took him across the earth and through the skies. In the soft glow of starlight, Pegasus watches over the world, a guardian of the night, offering peace and calm to all who gaze up at the stars. Pegasus's story is not just one of triumph over challenges, but a tale of finding one's place in the universe. He teaches us that true freedom comes from embracing who we are, and that there is beauty in the journey, even as we seek our own place among the stars. As you drift into sleep, imagine Pegasus's gentle flight through the night, his wings gliding effortlessly through the still air, carrying him to distant places beyond the horizon. His presence brings with it a sense of calm and wonder, reminding us that even in the vastness of the universe, we are never truly alone. The stars are our companions, just as they are his, and their soft light will continue to guide us, just as they guide Pegasus on his eternal journey. May the story of Pegasus, the winged horse, inspire you to dream, to explore, and to find peace in the world around you. And, as you close your eyes and drift off to sleep, know that somewhere high above, Pegasus is still flying, his wings carrying him through the quiet of the night, forever free, forever a part of the stars. Pegasus, eternal guardian of the night sky.